What is up, Nitwits fam? We hope you're having a fantastic day. It's Game Over Joey, and with me as always,
Damo 99.
and we got a great subject for you guys today. Man, I just made it sound like school, and I hate school. We got a great topic of discussion, and it's going to be focusing on Game of the Year thus far. But before we get into that, Dom is actually going to talk about some releases next month.
And before I talk about that, guys, please like, subscribe. Tell us we're doing awesome. Tell us we're doing terrible. You know, we do love to hear comeback from you. Please, please, please let us know. But to the important topic right now is what's next month bringing? So the month of June, we actually have some games finally, I would say, coming out for the first time in forever this year. That's not delayed. But we have June 1st, World of Warcraft Burning Crusade Classic coming out. We also have Elder Scrolls Online Gates of Oblivion. So there's just two DLCs coming out on June 1st. We have Chivalry 2 on June 8th. PlayStation, get excited. An exclusive that's worthwhile finally. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart June 11th. After that, we had Dungeons and Dragons Dark Alliance on June 22nd. My most anticipated game here, Mario Golf, June 25th. Scarlet Nexus, June 25th. And Tony Hawk Pro Skater on the Switch on June 25th as well.
Oh man, I'm excited. We actually have some games coming. I'm feeling really good about the second half of the year, but I'm not feeling so great about the first half. We're not really counting June. We're kind of just jumping the gun here a little bit because the worthwhile games don't come out till later anyway. So as stated, the subject is around best, or I guess, game of the year thus far. Dom and I actually took a minute here to narrow down the list just because we wanted to make this a little simplistic. And we narrowed it down to the bigger titles that have dropped this year, which there hasn't been many.
No.
I'll just go ahead and name them, and we'll start from there. So the very first game that dropped this year, it was a big one. It was an Xbox exclusive. Well, I guess to the Xbox Game Pass family. It was on PC as well. Was The Medium. Then we have Resident Evil Village, Mass Effect, Outriders, and Pokemon Snap. And Hood, Outlaws, and Legends are the games we narrowed it down to as your AAA bigger games that have dropped this year. Dom, I'm going to throw it right to you. What do you think the game of the year is? Well, I probably can guess this. Not going to be too shocked. But let's hear from you first.
You know, let's throw out any bias I might have. But, you know, I don't think a remake or remaster, excuse me, has ever won Game of the Year. But out of this list right here, I'm giving my favorite game of all time, Mass Effect Legendary Edition, a Game of the Year shot. Other than that, I mean, really, like break it down. Like this year, like there's no heavy hitter. And I think if it's a time to, you know, you want to take a big swing, maybe you throw in the AAA game like Hood, Outlaws, and Legends, or let's have real fun and give Switch a little bit of love right now with Pokemon Snap. But that's kind of a ridiculous statement.
I agree. You know, you're definitely right. I can't disagree with you at all with that. I do think Mass Effect, the remastered, the relaunch, was a great thing. I mean, you're getting all three games for $60. Or was it 50? I can't remember.
60.
So $60. So pretty much $20 a game. You're getting a phenomenal deal to actually play some phenomenal games, right? Well, I guess the third one is hit or miss. But regardless, phenomenal deal. For me, the answer is very clear, very simple. Again, to your point, do really remasters ever win? No. But for me, it's Resident Evil Village. I love that game. It was polished. There was no bugs with my playthrough. I know some people had some, but I did not. The graphical fidelity in itself was absolutely insane. Now, I am playing on a high-end PC, but you still got those same graphics on PS5 and Xbox. And I will tell you, the story I thought was really good. The gameplay was really good. It's connected to Resident Evil 7, which is hands down was my favorite in the series. So what I'm getting at, hands down, it is my game of the year thus far. Now there isn't much competition, but I will say there's going to be a special place in my heart for this game probably all year long. Will it make my game of the year at the end of the year? Probably not. There's a lot of heavy hitters coming at the second half. But doesn't mean it's not a phenomenal game and that no one you should definitely go out and play it. It is a game that I highly recommend.
I want to throw in a weird thought process on this one. Should these games that came out at the beginning of the year hit their deadline and stayed loyal, after all these games have been delayed, should they get more praise when it comes to the game of the year actual selection? So whenever these other big titles finally come out, should these games, in your opinion, get some extra love for coming out when they said they were going to?
Yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying, but obviously, if we're just focusing on my opinion versus what the actual reality of it's going to be, right? I say no. And the only reason I stick with no is because games are delayed for good reasons, right? 9 times out of 10, it's because the game has technical problems, the game isn't finished. Obviously, in Halo Infinite, was fan feedback saying the game looked not the best. Why does it not have ray tracing? Why are we having to get a patch that's coming out a few months later to fix all these problems? So I
don't want to be the next Cyberpunk.
Right. It wasn't. I don't think it was gonna be that bad. And I guess I'm one of the few, but I didn't think Halo looked that bad. I think the graphics looked really good. Did I think it looked next gen, if you will? And no, it didn't. But regardless, that's not why I'm playing a game. But see, I know this can be a whole nother topic, but graphics aren't everything to me personally. I'm looking at how does the game run, right? Is it running smooth? What are the technical difficulties I'm gonna face? So if I'm playing a game and there's a lot of those issues, but it's beautiful, it's not gonna take away from those problems, right? Yeah. So for me, I would prefer a game to be delayed. And I think about Cyberpunk, and you bringing that up again, PC gamer here. I didn't have many problems on PC. The game was beautiful. The game ran pretty smooth. So my point of view on Cyberpunk, I enjoyed it. I liked Cyberpunk. There's a few things that bothered me. Sure, the world could have been a little bit more alive. The way cops spawned, that was horrible. But there's fixes for that now. But what I'm trying to get at is, I guess back to your original question. My answer is no. Yeah, they followed through with their release date, but I'm happy. Games like, okay, I guess I'm not happy. Back 4 Blood, it was delayed. One of my most anticipated games this year. Well, actually, hands down, probably my most anticipated, and I'm sad about that. I truly am. But if it's for the right reason, because they need more time to work on it, I'm all for the delay. But that means when the game drops, it better meet my expectations, because you're sitting here pushing it back not just a month or two, several months, and you really got us amped up. Those trailers looked absolutely phenomenal, and I will tell you, I'm super excited. I'm ready to play it. I'm geeked for it. So I don't think, yeah, sure, some people may say, well, Outriders, Resident Evil, The Medium, they met those, those dates. Heck yeah, awesome. Couple more points in my book, right? But anyone that's thinking like that, I think is a wrong way of thinking, because when these games are delayed, I think they're doing it for the right reason, and it's only going to be better for our experience. That's my thought on that. What's yours?
I mean, I think it should help them to some degree, but at the end of the day, none of these names outside of Resident Evil carry enough weight to, I think, swing a big vote. I mean, I think if you come out and if you really look at these titles and you really break it down, Mass Effect 2, I mean, it was a game of the year as well. Yeah. But Outriders, it's great. I think Outriders is a fun game. It's different. It's unique. But I don't see Outriders winning Game of the Year in any year, even in a weaker year. And I think outside, if you want to look at realistically Mass Effect, because it's remastered, it's probably not going to get any recognition for it. Resident Evil is the biggest name overall, so I imagine they might get some love. But I mean, with what's coming, none of these games realistically stand a chance as long as those other games come.
Yeah. I don't think we'll see many more delays this year.
Hmm.
Battlefield 6 is going to drop this year because it has to. It's competing against Call of Duty, right?
Yep.
And the news with Battlefield 6 really depresses me because they're talking about there's possibly going to be no story. And that really upsets me. But again, we can get into that at a different time. And then you're gonna have your Call of Duty, but again, they're not really Game of the Year contenders anymore. But Battlefield 6 may because of how big it's gonna be. And then I think games like you have, Dying Light 2 is gonna actually not gonna it's gonna go on next year's because it's coming out December 7th. But you have Back for Blood, Halo Infinite, obviously Dark Alliance, Dungeon and Dragons. I think that's gonna definitely, because that's a whole new game changer. If you're not following that game, if you have not seen gameplay on that game, yes, it comes out June 22nd, but I think it's going to be a heavy hitter for a lot of RPG fans, and they're doing some things that have not been seen before in video games. Just saying, check it out. There's a whole 22-minute demo for anyone that's listening. Is a phenomenal looking game. Obviously, I haven't gotten to play it. It could always flop, but I highly doubt that. They're typically really, really well put together games. But yeah, I don't think any of these games really stand a chance. I think Resident Evil Village, due to the new direction and being connected to Resident Evil 7, I think there's a good chance it could be a contender. I don't think it's going to win, though.
Can we also talk about a weird thing of like, there's a new love for horror games. I mean, it's interesting to me.
I've always been a fan. I don't. Yeah, all I can say, maybe on Twitch, maybe people are streaming them
Yeah,
more.
that's what
Sure.
I'm saying.
Yeah,
Like the recognition of them.
I I think horror in general. Obviously, I'm a huge horror
Hmm.
movie fan, as you know. I love the games. I played Outlast. I played all the Resident Evils. You name it, I've probably played it. Tango Softworks, obviously, who's owned by they're owned by Bethesda. That came out, The Evil Within, phenomenal game. Evil Within 2 was not well respected for some reason, but I thought was a phenomenal game. Silent Hill back in the day when those games were dropping, phenomenal in my opinion again.
Yeah.
But I'm a huge horror fan. Like you can't, and Dead by Daylight for example, you can't throw a horror game at me and say, Joe, play it. I'm already gonna be playing it. I'm gonna love it. There's no. The Medium, for example, another horror game, phenomenal. I played it. I enjoyed every second of it. It's no Resident Evil Village. It's no, Dead by Daylight, but it was a really good game. Outlast, a really, really good game. Yeah, but I do think that there is a huge fan base for it. But my thing is with people on Twitch that are playing it, I don't really necessarily think they're horror fans. I think they're playing it obviously for the views. And I
Yeah.
say that because people love watching horror games, but they don't like playing them because they're too afraid. But if I can watch someone play it, is the mindset people have, while getting some of that same experience, I'm gonna go ahead and watch this. It's like a movie that won't be able to get to see unless if I watch someone play through it, and then plus I get to see them jump when they get jump scares, right? Or I get to see them freak out when they're being chased by a lunatic with a chainsaw. So I think the appeal's there. It's been there. I do think there's more people doing it because they're seeing that it's an easy come up, if that makes sense.
I mean, think of it like this though. Me and Randy played Resident Evil 4.
Yeah,
We played it at night, just me and him. He died one time and refused to play it again.
yeah,
He got so creeped out. But he didn't want me to advance the game without him there because he wanted to watch it.
yeah.
So
So
that's just one friend, and now these people are you're able to watch tons of streamers, different games, different other things, in and out, in and out. So you can always find what you want. So yeah, I think that point's a good one.
no, and that's it, man. Like Resident Evil 4. Again, I know you said it's your favorite in the series, but I know you haven't played the newest ones. And,
Yeah.
and my big thing is, 4 I would say was one of my favorites as well, hands down. But 8, I think trumps 7 for me now.
Wow.
I gotta say, I give it to 8, then 7, then to 4. It would be my order now, and I really, I really, really liked 7. 7 was my number one for a while. I know we just talked about it too, and I said it was my number one in a previous podcast. I still can't get over the fact, welcome to the family, son. And then there's all these body parts in front of him, and they're all eating, and they're trying to force Ethan Winters to eat. And that scene itself, and then the actual boss fights in that with like Margaret, it's just, oh my gosh. Her crawling on the ground like a spider, and you fighting her in this like attic setting. It was just so immersive. But 8, oh man, where do I begin? The boss fights in 8, I just really loved every single one of them, and I love the fact that it ties in with 7. Yes, 8 has some problems. Okay, I mean the story can be kind of cliche to some people, but you know what? I guess spoiler alert. So if you haven't played it, you plan on playing it, don't listen to this part. But literally, when I fought, I can't remember the madam's name, Demetrius or whatever. When I actually fought her and I beat her.
Oh, Lady Demetrius, yeah.
Yeah, and then I get this jar and it says Rose on it, which obviously is Ethan's daughter. Well, we don't know at first, and then we walk down and the Duke said, "Oh, you found your daughter." They literally cut this baby up and put her in a freaking jar. And you're really carrying your daughter around. I didn't know that, obviously, at first. And I thought, like, oh, well, I'm still saving my baby. That just gave me the I guess, not the courage, but I really wanted to kill Madame Miranda. Because she literally sacrificed my baby and put it in a jar. Like, oh, man, such a phenomenal game. And I think it's great. But going back to 4, I'm always is gonna have that special place, right? I mean, I think about the final boss fight when you fight Jack, and I just remember even Lord Sadler, right, man? Oh my gosh, talk about an epic fight, man. There's so many good memories in 4. I know it's my third favorite, it's my third in the series, but I'm just saying. I think a lot of people's minds would change if they tried out 7 and 8. Especially 8. 8, I know a lot of people were kind of hesitant on because of the change, but I think it was a good direction to go. And you actually end up understanding more of the direction on why they went that direction when you actually play through the story and you learn more about it. But that being said,
I'll say real quick though. Sorry, I think in the world of video games, there's only been 2 guns that have been the most overpowered thing of all time, and that's the Golden Gun and 007. Mm-hmm. And it's the RPG in any Resident Evil game. Like, if you find an RPG and it touches whatever, it's dying.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. I mean...
That's what I always think about Resident Evil, is just find the RPG. There's always one somewhere. And you can kill whatever comes at you. The boss included. Like, you blow that thing to smithereens.
Oh, man. GoldenEye. You had to bring that up. GoldenEye, I have so many good memories playing that. I think back to playing... It was 64, right? Yeah, it was 64.
Yep.
And I remember playing that a ton with Eric. And we used... You remember that level with the maze, and then where you got the golden gun at, and then there was another level where you had this ski lifts, and oh man, so many good memories from that game with friends. Such a good game. I don't know why they never continued making those, or at least remade GoldenEye. Because to be honest with you,
they did one more.
They did.
I think. Because it came in a blue cartridge, I want to say.
You're right. I think you're right. Yeah, they did. But yeah, yep. Mm-hmm. They kept making the movies that never were good hits, but they couldn't make the video games come back, and the video games are really good, in my opinion.
Yeah. Listen,
sucks.
James Bond. Idris Elba still hasn't been a James Bond. I'm still heartbroken over it. Fix it.
Oh, man. So, I mean, I think we talked a lot about Resident Evil here, right? On why it should be a Game of the Year contender. In Mass Effect, I mean, we don't need to go into details there because, again, if you played Mass Effect, it's a phenomenal RPG. It's the first sci-fi RPG to do what it did for its time back in 2007, I believe.
It
So
changed RPGs.
it really did.
Hmm.
It well, you had Morrowind before that. Morrowind was better.
That's fair.
But again, that's another I guess a whole nother ball game. But yeah, completely two different genres. But they were definitely ahead of their time. You know, they definitely were. They created these games that we know today. They really set the genre up for RPGs. They set how things need to be. That butterfly effect was created by these
Yeah.
by Mass Effect, it being one of the biggest games where it truly made a big difference. Yeah, you know, Morrowind had some of that too, but Morrowind was just amazing because you could literally craft boots and run as fast as lightning and fly and with the ring or be invisible all the time. That was just insane. But a lot of people probably don't know that because if you probably don't know that, probably because of age, or B, the game, or the game was just graphically horrible looking by the time you actually got to it, and you couldn't play through it. But they need to remake that one too. Phenomenal game. But yeah, so I mean, it's narrowed it down. So let's just jump into something different here. Let's jump into Fortnite. Fortnite new season starts June 4th, right? So we're looking at
I want to say Thursday.
Yeah, it's this Thursday, right? Which is June 3rd, actually, I think. It is third. Yeah, the 3rd. So, I really want to cover predictions because, you know, we're both huge Fortnite fans. And I really, really am hoping for some insane new map update coming soon. I want to be able to fly, flying saucers, you know. I want to be able to do some epic shit, okay? That's what I want. That's Fortnite. I think insane crap, right? We had planes, cars, boats, building, RPGs, all different, you know, different types of rifles, and we have what's it called, the gun where you we grappling hooked, whatever you want to call it. I mean, it is insane with what they have done in that game, and it's just something that you would, if you have told me 10 years ago, hey Joe, there's this game where you can build these houses super, you know, 100 feet in the sky, and you're gonna have a sniper rifle as you're sniping a different team that just built this house in the sky, and you know, there's planes that are crashing into buildings, you can destroy everything on the map. I'd have been like, okay, we don't have that type of engine that can run those physics. Yeah, and how much crack did you do today? So, I mean, let's be real. That's what we would have said. Even though Fortnite isn't my number one battle royale game, it is something I'm very passionate about. I've been playing it back before it was a battle royale game. I know you were too. We both backed the game for Save the World, and you know, it is our baby, right? It is a game we play a lot of. I think that's an epic I mean, that's a huge introduction. So let's go ahead.
The season ends this week, but it's relaunches back up June 8th.
Okay,
what I'm understanding.
June 8th. Okay, so what are your predictions, Dom? I mean, a matter of fact, you told me about some updates just recently happened this week or recently, or today, and. Let's talk about what your thoughts are. I know we're on the same page, so I'm not going to really go into 100% everything my thoughts are, because I'm going to be upfront. Dom and I are on the same page on this because we pretty much guessed it before it even came out. But go ahead, man.
So one of the biggest rumors, if you follow any Fortnite leak, anything, and one of the biggest things that I think people wanted to come to Fortnite in general, it seems like aliens are finally coming. So across the map, we're starting to see more crop circles coming along, which is a really cool thing. I like that they're actually integrating it in the season before. It was kind of hush, but there was always like rumors everywhere. So we're feeling confident there's going to be aliens and UFOs. That's like the big thing right now. But we're just waiting for a little more. I think especially with in real world time things going on in today's society, I think this just comes as maybe too much of a coincidence not to take advantage of this. So I think that's why Fortnite's hopping on the train too. Plus, let's not forget, and this is my just crazy bold prediction. There's no proof of anything. We're about to celebrate 4 years of Fortnite. I mean, we gotta get a new map eventually. So aliens might be able to lead us to a new map. I'm saying maybe on an anniversary.
Yeah.
which would give you 1 month of this, and hopefully something new in July. And
Yeah.
I know that sounds maybe stupid or dumb, but why not? What else? Why else would you introduce aliens all of a sudden? That's the
Yeah.
way I feel. I think there's going to be an underground rumor of what are the aliens actually going to do now.
Yeah. So
Because
I agree. Go ahead, man.
no, I was just saying like crop circles popping up. I think there's going to
Yeah.
be little things. It's just a lot of little things right now going on. But honestly, I think it's time for a new map, especially Warzone coming out with a new map. Apex has come out with new maps before, and I think Fortnite knows like, hey, we need to start bringing these people back to us.
Yeah. No, and I agree, and I'm super excited to see what they do. Fortnite typically, I mean, you got to think Fortnite really set the tone for how a lot of battle royales are, how they're doing things now, like stories, for example. PUBG in H1Z1 are the original founders of really battle royale, and that's a fact. No one can argue that because they were the first. And you sit there and you think about it, and what Fortnite did to change it up, not just the building, but the storytelling element that we now see in every battle royale game. It's awesome. Due to the map, I really think the map's gonna be really cool. There was a like a stop sign or a sign that you could see where there's a banana running and 3 flying saucers, right? And it was one of their leaks, and I think you're gonna be able to. There's gonna be an abduction that's gonna take place. I think we will not only see aliens, but I think we may fight aliens on the map. I do think that we're going to get a new map, and I really, really like where you went with that, Dom. I know I looked up some actually leaks, and a few other people are kind of going on the same page as you. And I'm really, really, really excited for that. I do hope we see a new map. There was actually a image leak of one of the new loading screens where it showed like futuristic tilted towers again. So I do, I really do see us probably going back to not like an old map or anything, but really focusing on, a whole new map coming here soon, and they need that for me because I can tell you, Fortnite lost me about a month and a half ago. I got I level up to a couple hundred, and then I just kind of quit just because, I mean they lost my interest. It's the same map. I've been playing it for too long. I need something new. I want something new to look at. I want some new. Not necessarily weapons. I mean, that would be nice, but let's be real. I mean, we may not get any, too many new weapons, but we may, especially if it's aliens, right? But I am really intrigued to see what they do. I'm always excited for a new season, and I do think that they're looking at Warzone, they're looking at Apex and saying, hey man, even though Warzone's map really wasn't a new map, but it was a big enough update to where you felt like you're in a different era, at least era, right? And with Apex has dropped whole brand new maps, and Apex is as big as Apex is. I mean, you got your 3 big ballers in this game. You have Apex, you have Fortnite, and you have Warzone, right? PUBG's up there, the top 4 easily. But those 3 right there, Apex's following is absolutely insane. Look at the amount of views it gets
loyal.
daily. Yeah, and I honestly, if I had to say, Apex is definitely I'd say still my favorite. I don't get to play it as much because I don't have a ton of friends that play it. But I will tell you, just the abilities, the way the game feels. I'm also a sucker for Respawn. I mean, that also adds to it a little bit because I love Titanfall. And I love Vince. Zacapella, I think is his last name. He's just a phenomenal. He's the founder of he is like the daddy of Call of Duty, man. This guy is the one who made the first Call of Duty. Like, we're not talking about Call of Duty 1 and 2 and 3. We're talking about Modern Warfare. Like, this guy made Call of Duty what it is today. And when he made Titanfall, just hands down, phenomenal game. Titanfall 1 and 2. And then his studio created Apex Legends. I mean, geez, man. This guy's awesome.
I mean, real quick, just to jump on here, it's weird to look back at some of the decisions Fortnite had to make, and at the time how dumb they seemed. So like they went head on with PUBG, and I remember that was like the big rivalry. Yeah, PUBG or Fortnite, which one are you gonna play? Which one are you gonna play? And then like you play Fortnite, it's kind of cartoony, it's cool. Like you can throw up a wall. I think it might last, and it was free. It was weird. And then they were like, "Oh yeah, we have a battle pass," and it's like, "Well, this is just stupid. Like, whatever. Like, I'll buy it. What, $10. I'll get some free skin. We'll see what's like." And now every game, phone games included, almost any game you play has some form of battle pass now.
Yeah.
Even the king of microtransactions, Call of Duty, has a battle pass.
No,
Like,
no.
what?
Yeah.
Well, Warzone, sorry. Like, but you know what I mean? Like, it's crazy to think that. Like, and I don't know. I think Fortnite now is coming to a point where these competitors are starting to do different things that they're not. And Fortnite's got to make a move. So I'm not ever going to say Fortnite will lose out to any of these ones in the long run, but it's time to make a big change for them.
So, I want to talk about Battle Pass because you brought it up. Battle Pass was actually not created by Fortnite. This concept was introduced by actual Valve's Dota 2 back in the day. We're talking about back in, I want to say, around the 2012, 2013 era. A lot of people don't know that because if you're not a Dota 2 fan, you're going to have no idea what the Battle Pass is. You're going to be like, it's Fortnite. But if you do your research, it is 100% was introduced by Valve with Dota 2. And they never grasped the concept as well. I do think Fortnite kind of mastered it and really put it into in effect with so many different games. I mean, you are seeing that in every game. I mean, you have, as you mentioned, every Battle Royale game, Genshin Impact, Fall Guys. I guess Fall Guys kind of falls under Battle Royale a little bit, but yeah,
Fall Guys, whatever it wants to be, Joe.
Yeah, it's true. Phenomenal game, hands down. Should have been game of the year last year, right?
Should have been.
But yeah, I mean, it is absolutely insane to think that, it did this concept was brought up years ago, but no one liked it. No one in Dota's community, people were like, nah, no. But then what Fortnite did to make it so unique, though, was the amount of skins, stuff looked cool, right? They put stuff in there you wanted, and then they kind of mindfuck you, and excuse the language, but they really do, because you're getting free V-Bucks when you're doing it too. So they're like, you know what? You're gonna get 1,200 V-Bucks. It's like you're essentially not paying for it. So that trickery that they do is really great, and it really convinces you to buy it, and then you buy it. And then you're getting some cool stuff, so you're going to keep buying it over and over again. It is really the biggest and greatest mindfuck ever. Like, I'm sorry, it is.
It's well played. It's very well played.
It is. And then now, guess what? Call of Duty's doing it, and then guess what? They're doing a phenomenal job with it. People are buying it. I mean, the Destiny 2 implemented a system, but Destiny 2 system is very friendly. It's free. You don't pay anything for it. You get to participate in it just by playing the game, which I think is pretty cool.
Especially for an older game.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the cool things too. Is like when an older game like that adapts. I think it says something for the creators of it.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you got to think, man. Destiny 2 being under the overlord of Activision. Activision.
Overlord.
They're an overlord, man. It's horrible. But they were over Bungie for a long time, with Destiny 1 and 2. Mm-hmm. And Destiny 1, hands down, one of my favorite games of all time. I'm a huge, huge Destiny fan. I love the grind. I think it's fantastic. But the game had a real rocky start, and it got better over time, of course. Destiny 2 had that exact same structure. Came out, lacked content. It focused more on the new people versus the veterans, and I think that's what really scared a lot of people away. Well, guess what? When Bungie got away from the Overlord, Bungie came out swinging, and that following is back. So I'm excited to see what they do in the next few years with this game, with the expansion packs and so forth. But yeah, Activision, if you can publish your game without getting actually a big publisher like Take-Two or Activision involved, I wish most developers could do that, but they just can't afford it, right? So they get one of these big players in the game, and they're just so greedy, it just becomes so bad. So bad. Yeah, but I forgot what we were even discussing. Oh, Fortnite.
What's going to happen with it?
Yeah, so I think that's my prediction too. I agree with you. I do think that we're going to see something big here. I do think we're going to see a new map change. I hope that they keep the NPCs in the game. I really like them. and I hope that they continue to allow us to purchase stuff from them. I think the gold system is really cool. I would love to see that going into this new season.
I would like. First off, I thought NPCs was going to be the dumbest thing ever, and now I love them. Especially the fact that Bigfoot was randomly on one season. But I think another cool thing too is I wish the NPCs had better weapons. But you know, I think this season more than the last season, the second season of NPCs, depending on who they were customized to that. You know, so it's like the mechanic people had like certain parts that only the mechanic people would have logically. So I think that was a cool thing. I think they're only going to keep getting better with it. I doubt it goes anywhere. Fortnite has 4 years and millions of dollars bundled with different characters, so they're just going to keep using those guys over and over again and take advantage of it.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. I would love to see some changes there too, but I do like the additions, and I think they need to continue moving with them. I at first thought the same thing you did. I was like, adding these NPCs into the game. Yeah, we'll see. And I just like, man, this is freaking great. I can hire you. Yeah, and you may not be the best, but you warn me when somebody's coming. You're doing your job, Laura Croft. Like, fantastic. Yeah, you want to know something else I want to add in here? It's something huge where games have always done this was collabs, right? That's been a huge thing since the beginning of time with video games. Yeah. But man, Fortnite and their collabs is just absolutely insane. And I still can't get over the fact we got Master Chief and Kratos playing in the same lobby, man. I'm just saying, it's pretty awesome.
And not only that, they pulled that off so smooth.
Oh man, yeah, they did. Oh yeah,
I mean, I have to credit. I mean, they've done DC, they've done Marvel. I mean, Walking Dead, Borderlands. I mean, whatever's a hot topic, they pull it in. It's funny because like how South Park, there's always like the newest and updated thing. They always have an episode about it. Yeah. Well, Fortnite literally is pulling in whatever the most up to date thing is and does a season pass or something associated with. I mean, Star Wars was in Fortnite.
I know, that's still insane.
A movie from the 70s.
So insane. Yeah, I mean, they obviously have a deal with Disney. I mean, Marvel and the whole 9 yards. But yeah, I mean, super insane with what they pull off. And I know it's just a battle royale game; it's just characters, but it's still really cool to see, especially if those games have a special, or movies have a special place, or even shows have a special place in your heart. And I know I just paused, restated, but yeah, absolutely crazy. A little off of, I guess let's jump to a different subject here because I really want to talk about Far Cry 6 in the reveal. I don't know if you watched it, but not only did I watch it, but I watched the trailer that they just dropped when it went into specifics. And this game, oh my god, Far Cry 6 looks phenomenal. Like, comes out October 7th. I will be taking time off of work. And I'm obviously, where I know you're a huge Far Cry fan as well. Which is the last Far Cry you played? 4? I think you said.
Yeah, I played one after Voss.
Okay, so that was 4. So 4 was great with Pagan Min as your main villain, and 5 came out with Joseph Seed, which I think he was a phenomenal villain. 6. Oh my gosh! I know everyone's saying like, "Oh yeah, the villain. He's from Better Call Saul. The actor." I'm telling you, this is going to be, I think, the best one since 3. I'm so ecstatic to see. The gameplay looks amazing. It looks way over the top, way bigger than Far Cry's ever done before. They're fixing all the problems that they had in 5. If you haven't watched the trailer, go watch it. Ubisoft, if you're listening to us, we'll do more in detail if you want to sponsor a video. I mean, I know we got 21 subs, but hey, please.
You send us a game. I mean, we'll stream it as much as you need us to.
Yeah, just do it. Send it to us.
Say whatever you want.
No, we're not influenced by people. That's not true. Like, yeah, they said, okay, said the game is the best game you ever played. All right, guys, the game is the best game we've ever played. Yeah, better than Mass Effect.
Yeah, because they never came after me to help me out.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah, but I'm really excited for it. And then I got to bring it up one last thing too. Obviously, Back from Blood I've talked about enough. Dying Light 2, but Dungeons and Dragons Dark Alliance June 22nd. I know you brought it up already, but I am super excited for this game. And I know I kind of talked about at the beginning, but I this is a game to look out for. I do think this is going to be a game changer for RPGs. I'm so geeked for it. Oh man, like the nerd is coming out for me. Oh man, jeez. Next, now Dom, we talked about this briefly before jumping on here, and I want to bring it up because I can't stop looking at Robert Pattinson. And I don't mean that in any bad shape, way, or form. Okay, guys, I mean, the Batman. Oh my gosh. He looks so damn good as Batman, and I am really excited to see him be Batman.
Which is the greatest thing of all time.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, like, what a terrible cast. Like, when they said this, I was like, come on now. Like, what a joke. Like, how far away are we getting from Batman? Like, yeah. Batman's not some skinny looking dude. Like, no, Batman's like, you know, he's big, he's strong, he's suave, everything. But, man, every time I see his portrayal of him, I'm like, okay, I believe it a little more now. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's just such a weird, I don't know how they did it, but it worked.
You know, and that's the thing. He just looks so dang good.
Really, it's amazing.
Yeah, so I know this is kind of far from what we usually talk about with video games, but I think he looks amazing. I think he's going to do a phenomenal job. Now, let me ask you this, and a lot of people's answer is really around Christian Bale. Christian Bale or Ben Affleck? Who do you think's better? Okay. There's a right answer to this.
No, this is the problem. Okay, I think Batfleck had a bad rap no matter what. Batfleck was never going to get love for being Batman because he was a different style of Batman. He wasn't the Dark Knight. And I think that's something like we forget about. Mm-hmm. And also his villain sucked. Whereas when you go with Christian Bale, who did a phenomenal job, deep voice and all. I mean, Heath Ledger, the Joker, that Joker was amazing. And Tom Hardy's Bane is such an underrated, awesome villain. Mm-hmm. And I hate when people are like, well, the Joker was so much better than everyone. Like, no, put some love on Bane. Like, Bane was so damn good on that movie. Like, just so good. And I feel it's so underappreciated. So, like, I mean, I think I like Christian Bale more, but I think Batfleck does not get any love or any respect, and I think it's wrong. But Christian Bale's movies definitely bail him out more than Batfleck's did.
Sure. So let me ask you this: what about Michael Keaton? What do you think about him?
Was that one Nipple Batman?
That was with back in like Batman and Batman Returns, so the very old movies back in the 89, 92.
All I remember was one guy was Nipple Batman, and that distracted me so much when I was a kid. I was like, why is Batman nipples on him? It sounds stupid. But, like, I think, too, like, look at the evolution of Batman movies. And that seems like such a weird thing to say, but, like, I mean, outside of, like, the greatest man in the world, you know, who I claim is basically my dad, Danny DeVito, playing Penguin, like, he was such a, like, hilarious villain. And then the Joker was, you know, a sillier Joker. The Riddler was phenomenal. Arnold Schwarzenegger was Mr. Freeze. Like,
by the way, Nipple Batman was George Clooney back in 97.
Was it really?
Yes, 1997 was George Clooney.
I just made fun of George Clooney.
And you know what's funny? I love George Clooney. I think he's a phenomenal actor. And I'm probably going to make this probably make the most questionable statement right now, but he ages better. He looks better with age, man.
There's no way George Clooney is Nipple Batman.
Yeah, he was. I'm looking at him right now. Oh man.
My God. This is the greatest thing ever.
I just choked on my own spit by staring at his nipples.
I'm telling you, man, I can't believe George Clooney, like, the sexiest man alive like 50 years in a row. was
Speaking of that, man, how did he beat out Ryan Reynolds? Okay, I don't understand how he beat Ryan Reynolds, man. But we're not gonna go on that subject. But I'm just saying, like, it makes no sense how he beat him out. But
Dude, I'm gonna be the forever now whenever I see George Clooney is thinking of Deadpool Batman.
you're gonna look at his chest.
That's it. Every acting thing I see him now, I'm gonna be like, oh man, there's no nipple suit.
Oh man. So my opinion on this, man. So obviously Batman Begins, with I guess the relaunch of Batman Begins and The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises with Christian Bale. I do think he was a great Batman, but I really liked Ben Affleck. I really, really did. I don't think he was necessarily better than Christian Bale. I think Christian Bale was great in his own way, right? And he did have some phenomenal villains to go against, and I love those three movies. I mean, the trilogy in itself is absolutely phenomenal. But Ben Affleck, man, I think he did a really good job. And to be honest with you, I didn't want to see him replaced. I'm gonna be upfront. A lot of people who are DC fans are gonna probably cuss me out, but I really, really like Ben Affleck as an actor. I really think he's a good actor. I've always enjoyed most of the movies I've seen with him in it that I had interest in. I liked at least. I know he just was in a new one where he was a coach for a basketball team, I believe it was. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but the movie just came out recently, and it got like a 90-something% in Rotten Tomatoes. What I'm trying to get at, I think the dude can act.
Yeah.
I really do. But I do think Christian Bale has the upper hand there. But again, back to what you're saying, he had a good accommodating cast.
I mean, he arguably has two of the greatest villains of any superhero movie ever.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, I think Thanos was a bigger, better story. But like I'm saying, by complete acting, it's hard to take away from Heath Ledger and Tom Hardy. And yet somehow DC still manages to screw up and not make decent quality hero movies.
Yeah, that is so frustrating because I do think that they have an amazing villain lineup. I do think the superheroes in general are really, really cool. But yeah, I think what it comes down to, if they had the people who directed Marvel movies, and actually the writers too, and they came over to DC, I think they could have some really good quality stuff. But you know what comes down to? DC can't afford it.
Oh, no. Not at all.
They can't afford it. I mean, they have literally Marvel has Disney's pocketbook. I mean, when you talk about pocketbooks, and you kind of put that in perspective, right? And we talk about Microsoft, right? Microsoft became the richest company in the world as of January or February 2021 this year. They are the most profitable, the most wealthiest company. They beat out Amazon, Walmart, etc. So when you think about their pocketbook, they were able to drop $7.5 billion with no problem. Can Disney do that? No. But the point being, though, Disney can
do that.
Yeah, Disney can do a lot more than what DC can. So DC, I mean, again, Disney's pocketbook's going to be a lot larger, and they're going to be able to pull off a lot more things. Which is why, hands down, if you think about it, the production that they spend on their movies is a lot more because they can afford it. That's what it comes back to, is the bottom dollar. And then thinking about this too, I know more Marvel fans versus DC. I know a lot of people who are Superman fans. But
Superman.
So I have mixed feelings of Superman. I'm not a huge Superman fan. My brother is a huge fan, and we talked about this before. Matt is a huge Superman fan. Superman's cool. I'm not a huge fan. I tried to watch Smallville. I thought it was trash. I tried to get into some of the movies. Didn't really like them. Like the original Superman that came out in 2007, the movie. I couldn't get into it. So I think the ideal Superman's cool, but I don't like him for the sole fact that he's just this almighty beast of a god. And people will say, well, there's fucking, Joe, you're forgetting about Superwoman, and like
Wonder Woman.
No, Captain Marvel. I'm sorry. And then I'm like, okay, I understand that. I do get that. It's very similar. But and that Wonder Woman, bro, that's a whole nother subject. But she is godly too. But she's another right to be godly, especially looking like that. But yeah, Superman. I can never get into the fat either. I just think that overall they should just eliminate him. Keep Wonder Woman in the DC world and just get rid of Superman. They can kick him to the curb.
It's actually funny because I was talking to Ryan, who's the biggest DC fan I know, and he was like, it's weird to try to portray certain characters of DC so they don't come out as good as Marvel characters.
Yeah.
Because he's like, Superman can do everything, so you have to nerf Superman to make him like appealing. Because if not, then like he just laser beams a villain at the beginning, it's game over. Like movie 5 minutes.
But
Martian Manhunter, same thing. He's stronger than Superman, can read your mind, can do everything, can shapeshift everything. Like, how can you you can't portray that as like a dominant thing because he would do whatever the problem is in minutes.
Yeah, but I thought Wonder Woman was stronger than Superman too, though.
If
you look it up and you do a little bit of research on her, she has untapped potential that's supposed to be strong. Well, again, due to the DC world, that she's stronger than Superman. But that's the thing. You have too many overpowered, I guess, beings on their side, where it kind of makes it unrealistic. I mean, Captain Marvel, I get she's godly, but you got to understand though, like, who else do you have on the Marvel side that's like that? You don't. I mean, Hawk, but still, I mean, Hawk and his
Hawkeye, yeah,
Hawkeye. But yeah, man, Marvel's movies are just, I mean, oh man, just phenomenal. I don't think there's a bad one out. But DC, you can say they're all bad.
All I'm gonna say is real quick. Everyone bashed on Hawkeye, but my man's undefeated with the Avengers. When the Avengers haven't had him, they lost. So Jeremy Renner's really bringing a lot to the table.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Well, going back to your original question though about the Batman, real quick.
Yeah.
The casting of this crew here is amazing. Like, Colin Farrell is the Penguin, which is a weird choice because it should just be Danny DeVito. But James Gordon being played by Jeffrey Wright was amazing. But an underrated thing, Andy Serkis, who's like unreal, is a phenomenal actor, is Alfred.
Yeah.
Like, that's such a cool addition. Like, there's a lot of hype for this movie. I'm sorry, but I just keep looking at this, and then I thought about Jeremy Renner, and then now there's Nipple Batman. But what a great day!
Yeah, I'm really excited for this too, and I think it's going to be a really good movie. And going back, all jokes aside, I think DC does have some good, decent movies, and I do think when they're focusing specifically on the superhero, kind of like what Marvel does, I think they do a really good job. I think Aquaman was a phenomenal movie. I really enjoyed it. And I think Wonder Woman, the first movie was fantastic. 1984 was too long for me, but it was a really good movie. So
but it's weird because those are their two strongest actors, I would say personally.
Yeah, I mean, hey, Christian, I said Christian, but let's say Christian Bale. Robert Pattinson could be up there, man. He's getting his own kind of boodle Batman. This could end up being one of their top tier movies too. And I really got a good feeling about it. I really, really do. I'm excited to watch it. I know that I get to watch it. Hopefully on Warner Brothers. No, HBO Max. I'm sorry. So I'm hoping to be able to watch it there, if not in theaters.
I'll say if not, we'll be in the theater together.
Yep, I'm excited to watch it, man. I really am. I really think it's going to be I think it's going to shock so many people. And Robert Pattinson's going to do this. He is a phenomenal actor. And everyone just thinks Twilight. But that's the thing. He's been in a lot more movies than just Twilight. He's done some phenomenal characters. And I am really, really, really excited to see him in this movie.
Excuse your language. He was a phenomenal Cedric Diggory and has one of my favorite lines of all time. Take my body back, Harry.
Hence I said he's played many, many characters.
We need to recognize that. He's a Hufflepuff. Hufflepuffs stick together.
That's very true. But he didn't have much acting in that time, though. He didn't have that much screen time. But regardless, going back to, as I said, he's played many different characters. He's done a phenomenal job. As you know, I'm probably the biggest Harry Potter fan you probably know. And well, yeah, I would say I definitely am. I was gonna say Maria, but
Yeah.
I think I trump her a lot more. As in, like I do sit here and watch the movies weekly. I guess you could say, well, she probably reads the books more, but she probably has. I have read the books though, just in case if anyone says anything. But I will say, yeah, he's done some really good support roles, main roles that he's done a phenomenal job in. I think he's underrated, and I'm really excited to see what he does in Batman. So, stay tuned because we'll have to do a whole podcast on that one. I want to talk about that,
Yeah.
especially if it's a flop, so we can just talk trash about people we know that like DC.
Yeah. I'm 100% more for that.
Oh, yeah. So, hold on. Before we sign off, who's your favorite DC superhero?
I mean, I used to Flash,
Who?
and then the TV show, The Flash,
Okay.
and then the TV show came out, and I was like, yeah, this is awesome. And then the TV show continued. I was like, God, I hate this. And it's weird how that happened, but
Yeah.
I could give a cliche answer, and I could say like Green Lantern. I really do like Green Lantern.
Is it because of Ryan Reynolds or no?
No, it's hilarious because I've gotten this argument with so many people, but it's because I grew up in the era of the animated Justice League. Jonathan Stewart is literally like my Green Lantern. So like I always picture Green Lantern as a black guy, which is like the way I like it. It's all the freaking movies follow because like if you know a lot about Green Lantern, you know there's like multiple different ones, and Hal Jordan, and so Jessica Cruz. There's like a ton of different ones. But if you want me to just go like oddball character I love that's a villain, unfortunately, of DC that I just like fell in love with for some stupid reason, Captain Cold. I just love Captain Cold, but it's probably like I think he's just hilarious. But I would say Green Lantern for hero and Captain Cold for villain.
Okay.
It's probably because Wentworth Miller played him in The Flash, but well, Slash, yeah. But I mean,
go ahead.
I don't like Superman. I think he's cheap and gimmicky. Martian Manhunter's cool, but man, Batman. I hate Batman in a way because everyone's like, "Oh, he's such an amazing superhero." He's not a superhero. Get that out of your mind. He's not a superhero. He doesn't have superpowers. And that's just me being nitpicky. But plus I like trying to be a little bit hipster and pick someone different.
Okay. That's fair. Okay, if you didn't do superhero powers, because I'm a huge Batman fan, so
I know most people love Batman.
I really do like Batman, but if I had to choose, man, I really like Wonder Woman, and not just because of who plays her now. I'm just gonna set that aside. I mean that helps, right? I mean Dr. Fate's pretty cool.
Yeah, he's underrated too.
He really is. I mean, so is Doctor Manhattan, though.
Same difference.
Yeah. But still, I mean, there's a lot of people that are underrated. I mean, isn't there like the Spectrum or Spectre, whatever?
I think so.
Yeah, because like
I know Marvel pretty deep, in DC I know like baseline and then a couple like outcasts.
Yeah, the Spectre, man, he literally he's immortal, right? This dude is a god. Yeah, I mean he's pretty sick too. I think they got solid heroes on their side and villains. If they could portray them better, I think that it would do so good. I think DC could blow up and possibly even surpass Avengers, especially the fact that they're doing a whole new lineup is so depressing. With I know we talked about this prior, and I'm not very happy about it, but with all these characters, retiring and these actors no longer playing in their parts, I'm not looking forward to the new movies. I mean, they could end up being really good, and maybe they'll shut me up, and we'll come back to this podcast, years later, and be like, "Oh, Joe, you were wrong." But sure, maybe. But yeah, I'm nervous. I am nervous.
Dude, Deadpool 3, like Ryan Reynolds has been very adamant about getting Hugh Jackman to play as a buddy cop as Wolverine with him.
Yeah, so why did we jump?
That was the original gameplay, but
yeah, we just jumped back to Marvel.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, you're saying like people retiring, people doing things like.
But I'm not talking. I'm not talking about that specifically because again,
Okay.
he's not. He's never gonna make. I don't think he's ever gonna be an actually Avengers movie because again, Deadpool, like as we talked about, I personally would rank him my number one favorite.
Yeah, overall.
Yeah, overall, and I've said that since day one, since I've known you. Followed probably by Iron Man. I said this to you multiple times. I love Deadpool, hands down. They have the best movies. And it's not just because it's Ryan Reynolds. I mean, obviously that helps. But that role was... That man, shit, let's be real. That role was specifically made for him.
Yeah.
And I know you're a huge fan, too. I mean, hands down, I think we share a passion, not just about... I think every male does about Ryan Reynolds. But regardless, we're not going to get the subject either. Just look it up on TikTok, everyone. It's true. But he just... Man, Deadpool's is phenomenal. It's hilarious. I guess he's more of a vigilante, but still, I mean, kind of like Batman. But regardless, I phenomenal stuff. Phenomenal stuff. I could talk about this. Yeah, I could talk about this all day.
No, man. I mean, I think it's weird though because I think now is the time to strike if you want to take advantage of Marvel, with a lot of their bigger actors, quote unquote, retiring or stepping away or taking breaks. Now's the time to get in there and hook some people back into your claws.
We're going to make a superhero called Dr. Flubber.
Just gonna be us.
They're gonna brothers, Dr. Flubbers.
Dr. Flubbers when they come. It's like the Wonder Twins. Power of, and that's all they do. They always pick to be Flubber. Like,
I every time I think of like, you know what, man, they need to bring back Majin Buu and put him in the Avengers universe. I want to see somebody get turned into a cookie.
They'd be like, you guys can turn into Superman and have all his powers. Got it. Captain Flubber.
Dumb! Pass me the pizza! What, Joe? I want some fried chicken! Roosters?
Let's go.
What is the point of your characters? Well, we're a good support cast.
Yeah. Comic relief.
Exactly. When things get serious, we're there in the background chewing. Hire us.
Everyone's getting beat up. We're like, oh, this doesn't look good for us.
Marvel says, yeah, we're going to skip on the guy. DC picks us up. Hey, we'll take it.
I'll have a vengeance against them for forever.
Hey, guys, we will accept a lot less money, too. Believe us.
A lot less.
Did you say you want me to pierce my nipples to premiere on this next thing? Okay.
I'd be like, if DC told me, I'd be like, I'm going to be Batman.
Dude, wait, you know what, man? It's 2021, and that's all I'm going to say. Anything's possible.
Dreams do come true.
Yeah, Cassis says Batman. That would be hysterical. You and myself in tights. Oh my gosh! Just imagine that picture. Hey, think of.
I don't want to.
Yeah, I was about to go in super detail, but I just paused. I forgot we were recording. That would be so bad.
God.
Oh my god! I think about Great Western and some of the people that walked in there in their leggings. Oh my god! Okay, on that note, we should probably sign off.
All right. Well, Nitwits, like, subscribe, tell us we're awesome, support us, let us know if you like Nipple Batman. As always, have fun and stay classy.
Bye.